Tonight on NewsWatch, another attack targets Christians in Nigeria, raising questions about the government's ability to protect its citizens. Plus, more Oklahoma. 1 year after deadly tornadoes ripped through the town, we'll check in on the recovery and rebuilding efforts. And the importance of human touch and why it's a vital component of our emotional health at every stage of life. All this and more tonight on NewsWatch. Another deadly attack has Nigeria's Christians on edge. Good evening. I'm Mark Martin. This time it was a car bomb that killed 5 people in a Christian neighborhood. And there's little progress in the hunt for dozens of kidnapped girls, the vast majority of whom are Christians. The government has vowed to rescue the girls, but doubts are growing if the Nigerian military is up to the task. George Thomas has more.
In the northeast corner of Nigeria, epicenter of Boko Haram's insurgency, Ali Haji Ali Hassan is skeptical that his government is equipped to take on an Islamic terrorist group with reported ties to Al-Qaeda.
The truth of the matter is that there is nothing we can do. Boko Haram has all kinds of guns.
Hassan lost 3 of his brothers in a Boko Haram attack last month. Now there's growing concern the Islamic group has infiltrated the Nigerian military.
The Nigerian army is supposed to protect us. They were very close by, but they refused to come and defend us.
Hassan lives in Chibok in Borno State, the same village where 276 schoolgirls were kidnapped by Boko Haram on April 14th. The vast majority of the girls are Christians, but then forced to convert to Islam. Boko Haram says it will release about 100 of the girls in exchange for some of their fighters held in prison. But the Nigerian government says it will not negotiate with terrorists.
We are totally committed to ensuring that these girls are found wherever they are.
Little comfort to distraught mothers of some of the kidnapped girls who are upset with the government's inaction. Several African countries with Western backing have declared war on Boko Haram. Meanwhile, Nigeria's president says the Islamic group has killed more than 12,000 people.
Quite frankly, Boko Haram has been creating havoc for some time, and now the world's attention is on that fact. All of the nations surrounding have their eyes on that fact.
A day after a suicide bomber killed 5 people in a Christian neighborhood in northern Nigeria, police on Monday said they detonated a vehicle loaded with explosives in the same village. Meanwhile, Boko Haram is threatening to kidnap more children. George Thomas, CBN News.
New Hampshire senators are speaking up for the Christian woman sentenced to death in Sudan. A court convicted Maryam Ibrahim of apostasy after she married Daniel Wani, who is a Christian from South Sudan. Wani is also a U.S. citizen with ties to New Hampshire. Senator Kelly Ayotte has written Secretary of State John Kerry requesting political amnesty for Ibrahim. Senator Jean Shaheen said the death sentence is a violation of fundamental freedoms. Pastor Saeed Abedini is back in an Iranian prison. According to the American Center for Law and Justice, Pastor Saeed was beaten and forcibly removed from the Iranian hospital where he spent the last 2 months. The reason for the transfer is still unclear. In a statement, Naghmeh Abedini, Pastor Saeed's wife, said, "This is an extremely disappointing development, one that breaks my heart. Our family is deeply saddened, and we continue to pray for Saeed for his safety and his release." Pastor Saeed's return to prison comes as efforts continue both in the U.S. and abroad to secure his release. 3 days of nuclear talks with Iran produced 0 results. Tehran and 6 world powers met last week to advance a deal to curb its atomic program by July 20th. A senior U.S. official said the 2 sides met with significant differences and great difficulty. Iran's deputy foreign minister also admitted there was no progress. Israel is closely watching the talks for signs Tehran is simply using them to cover its ongoing work on a nuclear weapon. An Israeli defense official told the Jerusalem Post Iran can break out to nuclear weapons very quickly, and Israel must maintain operational readiness for that threat. It's been a year since that ferocious and deadly tornado ripped through Moore, Oklahoma. Dale Hurd reports on the town's recovery and rebuilding effort.
On May 20 last year, a monster storm appeared on the Oklahoma horizon, and it was barreling straight toward the city of Moore. An EF5 tornado with winds of over 200 miles an hour.
Oh my God!
In its path, Briarwood Elementary School.
It was huge. It was probably 1.5 miles wide, half a mile away, and at that moment it was real.
You could hear it coming. There was a very surreal pelting.
I got on top of as many kids that I could put my arms over. The wall fell on top of me and knocked me unconscious immediately. And at that moment, I thought that I didn't make it. I thought my daughter was looking at me, and I wasn't there.
She did make it, along with everyone else at Briarwood Elementary. But 7 children died at Plaza Towers Elementary. All totaled, 24 killed in Moore, hundreds injured, and more than 1,000 homes damaged.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
1 year later, the town is still rebuilding, and CBN's Operation Blessing has been there to help. Drive through Moore today and you see recovery, new homes, businesses, and soon a new Briarwood Elementary School.
It was just awesome, the way that people lifted us up. And in the days after, it just felt like a hand on our back, holding us up. We've just come back stronger.
Dale Hurd, CBN News.
And joining us to talk about the rebuilding effort in Moore, Oklahoma is Jody Geddes with Operation Blessing International. Welcome, Jody.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Yeah, appreciate your time today. Now, Operation Blessing's disaster relief teams, they were on the ground almost immediately in Oklahoma after the disaster hit. How long did that relief effort go on?
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually responding to a disaster, a tornado in Texas, and we were on the ground in Moore within hours of the storm hitting. And so when we arrived, it looked like the end of the world. And we were there for 4.5, 5 months.
Wow. Describe a little bit more what you saw when you guys first got there.
Yeah, I'll never forget riding down the interstate and entering into Moore, Oklahoma. Right off the interstate, we saw the movie theater and a couple big buildings, and literally it looked like a monster had crushed the buildings like you would see on television. It looked like the end of the world. And so it was some significant devastation, very severe, and just saw so many people's lives affected during that time.
Talk a little bit about some of the stories of the people that you worked with, stories that really stood out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's heart-wrenching what we do, but it's also incredibly rewarding to be able to know that you can bring hope and the love of Christ in some very desperate situations that man cannot fix. And one in particular was a family who had lost a child in the Plaza Towers Elementary School. Their son was 10 years old and they had lost him, and both of their other children were elementary school age and were in the school at the same time. And the mom used to go every single day to the foundation, because that's all that was left of the school, and visit that foundation. She would weep, she would pray, but that's where she found peace. She found God there, and she found comfort there. And the day came where they had to demolish that so they could begin to rebuild. And she was crushed. She was devastated. And so we thought, well, what can we do to help this mother? We can't give the life of a son back. And we met with the family and asked them for a dream list. What are some things that would help comfort you? And they really couldn't spell out anything, but when we thought about it, we thought, well, could we make a memorial? So we created a memorial in their backyard, but we wanted it to be something of hope, not just to remember the death, but the life and the resurrection and the love. So we built a memorial wall there. And I'll never forget surprising that family, because usually we're surprising a family with a new home or something like that. And we took the family into the backyard, and they saw the memorial garden, the prayer wall, the fountain. And I remember when the oldest son came out, and he had his football pads on still from practice. Again, he's elementary school age. He walked down, and it's like he sucked all the air out of the backyard.
Wow.
And he began to weep, and he began to cry. The little girl, who was the youngest, stood there at the prayer wall till midnight that night. And it was something that was so significant, you really can't put words to it, but it impacted a family for a lifetime. So when Operation Blessing is there, we're not just building walls and bricks and mortar and all of that, but we're touching hearts and changing lives. And sometimes it's as simple as building a memorial wall in a backyard of a family's home.
Very, very true. You guys are like everywhere, and you do such a great job. We commend you for your efforts. Jody Geddes with Operation Blessing International. Thanks again, Jody, for being with us.
Thank you, Mark.
Pennsylvania is the latest state to pave the way for legalized same-sex marriage. A judge threw out the state's ban on gay marriage today. If his ruling stands, Pennsylvania will become the 19th state to recognize same-sex marriage and the last state in the Northeast to do so. An appeal is likely. State gay marriage bans have been falling around the country since the U.S. Supreme Court struck down parts of the Federal Defense of Marriage Act last year. A military chaplain opened a House meeting on Capitol Hill with a prayer to his Savior. Navy chaplain Tavis Long prayed, "In the name of the one who can truly set us free, my Savior." The Baptist chaplain also prayed that Congress would be, quote, "ever mindful that in that last day we must all give an account." It's been 2 weeks since the Supreme Court upheld sectarian prayers at government meetings, but the chamber is still accustomed to non-sectarian prayers. Coming up, inside the hornet's nest. What happens when journalists venture into the heart of the longest war in American history?
The American Bible Challenge is back. Premiering Thursday at 8/7 Central. Jeff Foxworthy is ready to play.
The whole family's gonna love it.
Kurt Franklin's gonna sway.
Are you ready?
And you'll see the Bible in a whole new way.
Don't I look chic? That was impressive.
An all-new season premieres Thursday at 8/7 Central, only on Game Show Network.
I was having some pains between my shoulder blades. At that point, everything changed. Diagnosis, pancreatic cancer. First, there was prayer. The second is to fight. As soon as we walked through those doors at Cancer Treatment Centers of America, all my anxiety left. The pastoral care here is based on the Bible, based on the Word of God, just as it is at our own church.
When you combine the great medicine with the spiritual resources we have, it provides the patients with something that really can make a difference.
You got a pastor right there on staff praying with patients, and whether it be scripture or whether it just be a word of encouragement to say, God's got this.
If you or someone you love is fighting complex or advanced stage cancer, go to cancercenter.com/faith. You'll learn how our treatment results compare to national averages and see a list of insurance plans with which we've worked. Advanced medicine and technology, the warm embrace of the Spirit.
I firmly believe God led me here.
Call or go to cancercenter.com. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Care that never quits. Appointments available now.
The American Bible Challenge is back. Premiering Thursday at 8/7 Central. Jeff Foxworthy is ready to play.
The whole family's gonna love it.
Kurt Franklin's gonna sway.
Are you ready?
And you'll see the Bible in a whole new way.
Don't I look chic? That was impressive.
An all-new season premieres Thursday at 8/7 Central, only on Game Show Network.
The movie The Hornet's Nest is described as a groundbreaking and intensely raw film experience. In the war documentary, two embedded journalists, a father and son, follow an elite group of U.S. troops on a dangerous mission in Afghanistan. The film uses real footage to tell the story of U.S. troops who engage the enemy deep inside one of Afghanistan's most hostile valleys. The film documents the death of Terry Burgess's son on that mission, Staff Sergeant Brian Burgess.
Watching the scene with Brian saying his children's name, it's heartrending for me. It's very, very hard. But at the same time, I can accept it as a gift. But for me to be able to see Brian on the screen, hear his voice, actually hear him talking about his children, how much he misses them, that he cared about them very much. It's a lot more than just a photograph. This is definitely a gift to us.
The Hornet's Nest will open in select markets this Friday, May 23rd, and will be released nationally in theaters June 6th. The film is rated R. Joining us now is Pastor Michael Ciociola. He's pastor of Calvary Christian Center in Yuba City, California, and he's also an auxiliary chaplain at nearby Beale Air Force Base. Pastor Ciociola, you've seen The Hornet's Nest. Give us your impression of its message and meaning.
The Hornet's Nest is the reality of war that our men and women face every single day. It's not a sanitized documentary. It's realism. You are taken into firefights, you see the wounded, you see the loss of life, and you see the willingness of these phenomenal Americans to put their lives on the line to protect our freedoms.
Talk about those struggles a little more that they face.
They watch people that they care deeply about either get wounded severely or lose their lives. And they go through these battles, horrific battles that are documented in the Hornet's Nest. I mean, you're hearing the whizzing of the bullets fly by and the incoming RPGs and the explosions and the dirt and the shrapnel flying everywhere. And you're hearing their expressions. And again, they're not sanitized. It's raw. And these folk are fighting for their lives and for freedom. You can't be in those environments and come out of them unscathed. They're internal wounds that are not always visible immediately to the eye. And most folk attempt to just kind of stuff them down, try not to talk about them. They don't know where they can express their concerns and their feelings for some of the nightmares they have and memories they have, and the guilt some of them carry because they lost a friend, someone they cared deeply about, and then they wonder, why did I survive? So some of these kinds of things create what's called post-traumatic stress.
How can the Christian community help better or help those vets who are struggling?
Well, number one, I think pastors need to see this movie, The Hornet's Nest, because pastors at times in our programs don't always understand that the typical church program may not totally relate to a returning military veteran. In our church, for instance, in addition to a huge Memorial Day event that we do called The Grateful Nation Remembers, we have ongoing ministry that reaches into the hearts of those who've come back from war and are serving or are still serving our country.
What are some of the Christian values that you see reflected in the movie itself?
Well, that's care for one another. You know, Jesus said, there's no greater love than this, than that a man lay down his life for his friends. And when you see this movie, you're going to actually see that happen. And again, it's shocking for those who have not been exposed to anything like that before. But pastors really need to see this movie because they're going to have in their congregations folks who have done that, who have given the highest offering that they possibly can give. That's to put their life on the line and say, I care about you so deeply, I'm willing to die in your place.
Pastor Michael Ciociola, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's an honor. Thank you, Mark.
So important to honor our veterans. Well, up next, from ex-cons to newborns, why the sense of touch is more important than any other.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by.
call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
Welcome back. Decades of research has shown that human touch is essential for babies to develop and thrive. But more recent research shows that it's just as vital for adults as it is for newborns. Caitlin Burke has more on the science behind the power of touch.
Thursday night Bible study in Skagit County, Washington sounds like your normal men's prayer meeting. The laying of hands isn't unusual, but it took these men some time to be comfortable receiving God's love through touch. Chris Hoke met most of them as chaplain of the county jail.
In the jail, guys don't touch. And on the streets they wouldn't. I think the only place they'd have it is just an over-sexualized sense of touch with girlfriends.
Julio was one of those inmates.
A lot of times there's guys that they're scared of being touched because they need to put up a front of that tough guy role. And when some stranger comes in and tells you he loves you and he gives you a hug, it's something you're not used to. It's a feeling that you feel that somebody cares about you.
It was surprising how much guys wanted a hug right when they came through that door. Just boom, they'd want a hug. And some guys would say, sometimes I come just to get my fix. I saw how much there's a hunger there for it, if it's healthy.
If you want to hold it.
So why this hunger for touch? According to neuroscientists, our brains are programmed for touch.
There is a whole array of compounds that play together in order to allow touch and social interactions to affect our brain. This is the hypothalamus right here.
The hypothalamus area of the brain produces oxytocin, which is released upon positive touch. That compound can reduce fear and increase trust.
For many of these men, positive touch played a huge role in their healing and growth. But then one day the jail instituted a no-contact rule. Inmates were allowed only what they called a business handshake, and chaplains were told to reject anything else. How did that loss of touch start to affect the inmates?
At first, to me, it seemed like the guys almost became more violent. It seemed to me, especially in those first few weeks, that more fights were breaking out, as if they were swinging for some kind of contact.
Dr. Aravich is not surprised at this reaction.
The lack of touching causes all kinds of changes in brain development and brain organization.
In the mid-1900s, Dr. Harry Harlow found this in experiments where he deprived monkeys of physical contact from birth. The results were heartbreaking.
If you take a social creature and isolate it and look at a part of the brain called the hippocampal formation, psychosocial deprivation actually causes a physical injury to that particular part of the brain. Our brains were designed to be with other brains.
Research shows the first sense developed in the womb is touch, as early as 8 weeks, highlighting the need for proper touch from day one. At Centera Princess Anne Hospital in Virginia Beach, new mother Rebecca chose to participate in an increasingly popular practice called skin to skin.
For skin to skin, immediately after birth, we try to have the baby go directly onto the mom's abdomen, so the mom immediately gets to hold and feel her baby.
40 years of research shows this contact leads to many benefits for babies and their mothers.
How did it feel when you first got to hold him skin to skin?
It was an indescribable feeling. As soon as they put him skin to skin, that bond was there.
That secure bond gives baby Bryce a foundation that can help him throughout life, from academics to sports. In sports, trust between teammates is critical. So if positive touch creates trust, how could that help a team's performance? To find the answer, scientists left the lab and headed to the basketball court. Researchers at the University of California at Berkeley studied basketball teams over a complete season. After determining 12 types of positive touch between teammates during gameplay, they detailed the occurrence and duration of each one. Their results showed the touchier players and teams actually performed better than their counterparts. At the Bible study, these former inmates, who could only rely on themselves in prison, now learn to count on others. Chaplain Chris Hoke credits that to Jesus and how he's touched these men's lives.
I think that's what God came to do, is to touch us. Jesus crossed such a span between us so that we could be one. And so I think the touch is just the beginning of that, of a love story.
I feel like there's intimacy with Jesus when two men are touching each other and praying for each other. You can feel the energy when someone is putting their hands on you praying for you. You can feel the power of Christ going through that person's hands and going into your body.
Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
Up next, the 40-foot rubber ducky that has a whole city talking.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Folks in Norfolk, Virginia are flocking to see a rare sight courtesy of the Chrysler Museum of Art. A 40-foot rubber ducky floating in a downtown waterway created by Dutch artist Florentine Hofmann. Versions of the icon have traveled around the world, including stops in Sydney, Tokyo, and Hong Kong. The Chrysler Museum recently reopened after an 18-month expansion and renovation. Chrysler officials say the duck is helping attract record crowds, and the duck will be on display until May 26th. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. That's all for this edition of NewsWatch. Remember, you can email us your comments and questions at newswatch@cbn.com. Hope you'll join us next time.